All right, good day, everybody, and welcome. Welcome, digital investigators. This webinar is going to delve into the transformative power of ADF tools, empowering you to navigate the complexities of digital evidence across the diverse devices, from Macs to Chromebooks to mobile devices. We're going to equip you with some knowledge and technique to seamlessly extract crucial data, both on-site and in the lab. Get ready to unlock the efficiency and accuracy of ADF Solutions, propelling your investigations to new heights. Welcome to AI. Love that voiceover. All right, so we're going to go over mastering computer forensic investigations, kind of encompassing all the different platforms and operating systems that are out there today. And I'm your host, I'm Rich Froehlich, and I'm your presenter today. Yeah, look at that. Look at me there. Look at me here. Yeah, been a long year at the North Pole. So time to update my headshot, I guess. Yeah, so Rich Froehlich, 23 years in law enforcement as a forensic examiner and investigator. So I've done all types of cases. We remember the ICAC. We remember the Crimes Against Children Task Force with the FBI. I worked with all the state and local departments and agencies. I'm up here in Connecticut, so I worked with the FBI, U.S. Department of Justice, the United States Postal Inspection Service, and anybody who's been in a lab for a long time, or even at the beginning, you realize it was everybody worked together, right? It was not necessarily a forensic task force, if you will, but it's pretty much how we started putting all that together. We all just worked together. So after 23 years, I retired from law enforcement, hence the smile on my face. I miss the work, miss the puzzle, but I still get to work with that here today. So I've been with ADF Solutions now 8 years, going into my 9th year. Nothing but fun. I get to see everybody do things like this. So hello, everybody out there, and let's get going. Let's get into what we're kind of going to do here today. I'm going to introduce ADF Solutions to everybody. For those of you who don't know, some of the names I see here have been in the webinars before, so welcome back. If you haven't, I'll give you some more information here in a minute. So kind of a little different today. Instead of having the tool up and showing you this and that, and I'm going to kind of go by platform operating system and let you know what we do, what you can get, how you can get it. It kind of let you understand that all-encompassing, this is kind of what I'm faced with. How do I do it? Where do I get it? I'm going to kind of go along that track. So we're going to look at, real quick on ADF and the toolkit. We're going to do Macs, we're going to do Windows, we're going to look at Linux, Chromebook, and mobile. All right, so all within one tool. And slide by slide here, kind of give you an overview of what each one can do, the power behind it, and where it kind of helps. And if there's any questions or anything, we'll get to those at the end. But of course, if you do have one and you type it in, and I happen to see it over here, I do have it open, and I can answer it, I will answer it at that time. So ADF, Advanced Digital Forensic Solutions Incorporated. As a company, we are focused on solutions, right? It's in our name. You're trying to solve investigations, and we're focused on developing technology solutions that's going to help you do your job faster. With the primary focus, helping you protect your victims. It's all why we're here doing what we do. As a company, ADF's been around for 18 years now. Its technological foundations are rooted in forensic triage. Early years were spent developing software specifically for image identification and analysis of that for the child exploitation arena, for government agencies, law enforcement being those main drivers wanting that technology. So with that, our immediate value came as a triage tool, and with that, we were providing, on-scene intelligence, capture of that potential evidentiary information, and that's even since morphed into solutions that are easier to use for investigators and helping reduce that case backlog. And it's really, I know there's case backlog out there. There's so many devices, so much, and we'll kind of get into that. But it's not a word I'm hearing as much as I did in the past. So what's transpired over the years here at ADF is the evolution of our technology to not merely include support for hundreds of file types and artifacts, but a better way to link that information quicker than any other solution that's out there. The theme has remained consistent. We want to help investigators and examiners get to the relevant information faster, put your case together, early case assessment, triage. Some you can put to bed right away. And along with all the additions that we've had in the tool over the years, we've also bolstered the ability to deal with consent and victims and witnesses, gathering what you need to bring some of those cases right, to a successful conclusion, maintaining your chain of custody while also gathering the evidence that may have otherwise walked right out that door, never to be seen again, right? And we all know that feeling. Something walks out the door, and you wish you were like, man, I'm never going to see that again. You can almost see that in the TV shows too, when somebody's like, oh, there it goes. It's just that sinking feeling. So let's get into it. That's ADF Solutions. The ever expanding landscape of digital devices, right? So it's becoming a logical world. And if you see me talk, I kind of repeat this over and over. It used to be you can hook up to something and get whatever you wanted out of it, sweep out the corners of a case. But really the developers, some of the operating systems and the hardware are really, really, really trying to lock everybody out for what they're saying is privacy and security, which you kind of understand. I mean, you want your own device secure, you want it private, but you also, need to be able to do our jobs. And it's coming to the point where it's going to be logical, that unallocated space, that free space, that things that have been deleted just aren't going to be there anymore. The more they go around, and locked devices are, still sitting on the shelves at some places. So, just the quantity of the devices we're coming across, the types of platforms that we're coming across, the ability to figure out what you need. I mean, just imagine walking into, a house with some school age children, right? You're going to have some cell phones. You may have some laptops and computers. You may have a Chromebook from school. You're looking at all these different devices, operating systems, platforms sitting there, and it's the old days, bag and tag, bring it back, drop it on the lap of the lab, and that's where backlog comes from. So time, you go in, you're expecting multiple devices, and time is one of your issues, right? How long is it going to take me to decide which one of these we need? How long is it, instead of bag and tagging and bringing it back together, you have grandma living in the house. She's got her pink iPad, and does that really need to go back, get caught up in the search warrant, and take weeks and months to get back? Or the kids' phones, or their lifelines, and we'll kind of get into that. You have some time. We're not any of these tools that you use out there aren't really adding time to your time on scene, unless of course you're trying to do everything while you're out there. You're trying to do a physical and scan and decide that way. No, you really need that early case assessment. So you're going to spend some time, a little bit more time. And when I get into the windows, you'll see, does it really matter if I run a scan in a minute or if I take 5 minutes and get a little bit more data and you're able to work with that on your investigation? Cell phones, I talk to more people nowadays that it's just, I couldn't imagine. It's frustrating. You guys are going out and you're doing search warrants. You're on scene. You have these devices, and you're kind of back to bag and tag it and bring it back, and then decide, which ones I have to do another search warrant for, with specifics and dates and times, and limiting what you're going to be able to get out of that device. It's frustrating. So that's where kind of logical world, can I get the consent? Am I dealing with a victim or a witness, or can I get somebody to say, hey, let me just take a look at it here, and we'll give it back, and should there be nothing on it and there's no issues. And you're dealing with limitation of what's available. You're moving quick, you're doing logicals, some apps aren't going to be there, that going into it. Something that's encrypted at rest, something you may have a problem with even if you do get a physical, or the new things that are the new apps that are coming out that just haven't been developed yet, right? So it's coming, it's becoming quite challenging to put all this together when you're on scene with everything there, and I had a conversation with one of the agencies dealing with thousands of devices within a day or within a week, or however you want to put it there. But they're like, listen, if I can look at it right now, see what I need, and either, let this group go or take it, get the information, because they're going to be charged, and, I need it today. So it's in the courtroom in the morning, kind of the things we're coming up against. And we're kind of slowly going to go through here and show you some of this, but it takes a change of mindset, right? I've been doing this since 1999. Not the oldest person out there doing it. Certainly not the oldest person around teaching any of this stuff. There's still a lot prior to me. We all fit into that dinosaur category. But it's, even as much as things have changed in the 20 some odd years I've been doing it, the mindset hasn't. We're still looking at every single device as worst case scenario, as everything has to be swept out of the corners. And with these devices growing and all the information that's on there and the years of data and people's lifelines, you hear that all the time. My phone, it's got 5 years of data on it. This happened over the weekend, right? So there needs to be this change of mindset as to, yeah, let's grab it this way. Don't give anything up. Investigators are still investigators. Your case better than anybody else. If something's going wrong, or something's not right, so you'll be able to make those determinations through your interviews and talking. But if you can grab information and put something to bed, knowing that this is a simple harassment case that I need A, B, and C. I may have done search warrants and subpoenas already that back this information up. Give me A, B, and C. Let me send it to court. Chances are it's going to plead out. If for some reason it doesn't, you still have the information. You still have the ability to go back, but you've already backed it up with other means. So just a change of mindset, kind of. Nobody likes to let anything go. Nobody likes to see change. Who moved my cheese? That kind of stuff. But really, there's a lot of rumbling out there all over about this. So change of mindset, just keep that in mind and think about it as you're going through. So we're going to talk about some of the abilities available to you with all these platforms, right? We're going to talk about a little bit of instant mobile preview at the end, screen capture and screen recording with a couple of the platforms here, your advanced logical acquisitions. We're going to talk about Mac, Linux, Windows, and Chromebooks and the parsing and analysis of those. So let me go here. And just looking at what you're dealing with a tool, right? So over here on the left, desktop version of the tool. This is what opens up. These are your choices, nice and clean, very simple to use, a little bit different. Again, change of mindset. Sometimes our tool is laid out a little bit different than others, but once you grasp that, it's very, very easy to use. Big buttons, lots of swipes. And then over on the right-hand side, in the lower corner there is what you're going to go out in the field with, and maybe a couple of cables. So a little tiny kit, you'll have your USB device to collect with, and you'll have your license to authenticate. I don't like multiple devices. Well, that's going to allow you to do multiple computers on scene with one license. So you can have multiple collection keys and have them all working for you at the same time. But there isn't the ability to only have one device if you're only going to do one scan at a time. So let's talk about Windows first. I know the order up front was, I think I went Mac first, but I want to talk about Windows because there's a lot to it. Now, one of the things I was talking about mentioning earlier, I can come in and show you the tool and it does this and it does that and point to all the different features, but I kind of want to talk about some of the things that are important when you're working with Windows investigations. These are the abilities that are available to you as an investigator and an examiner. This can be used out in the field or in the lab. So if you're working with a Windows device, you can scan or image. So from your desktop version, you can scan any device connected through a write blocker. So you don't need to image it first. You can go in, scan, and collect and run your keywords, run your hashes, pull information off of it. Or you can image that and then go back and scan that image there. So you can work on the live device or a copy, if you will. You can customize what you're looking for, which is nice. You don't. We do give you some. And excuse me if you can hear my dog. That's benefits of working at home. Customize your search profile so you can start looking for exactly what you want. You can start saying, this is my investigation, these are my keywords, these are the files I want to look for, these are the hashes, right? So you can have a hash set that you bring in, but you can say, hey, these are the ones that Google gave me, I want to specifically look for these. I have a case, I'm going to a lawyer's office, and the terms of this are I can only collect the attorney's user profile or his documents folder, right? You can set this to specifically go in and only collect what's in that area. Or you can say, I want to run these keywords and only collect documents that have these keywords, right? It's very versatile in what you can do when you customize search profiles. So we always like to think of triage and, pick A, B, C, and D, or, a lot of times where you get into trouble with time is I just want everything, but that's just doesn't work when you don't have that kind of time. So it's really good for time-based configuration. Let me do a quick scan and see if A, B, or C on there. If that's there, then let me go back and really fine tune this, because now I know that this is what I'm looking at. And then, have something when you get it back to the lab where you're really going to sweep the corners out of it, right? You're not just, this isn't the end of your case there. Early case assessment. Not just a triage. Yeah, man, I'd love this to run in 30 seconds. But if it runs for a minute and a half and I see that I'm getting what I want, but it's not finished yet, at least I know I'm in the right place. Let it run for 5 or 10 minutes, and now I can walk away with all the information I need to really put a solid arrest warrant together, right? Or make the decision right then and there. I'm going to make the arrest. And there's plenty in here for me to put the case together while this device goes and then gets that deep, sweeping of the corners out. When you're working with Windows, live window scans, nice. Plug it in. It's up. It's running. You can do your live window scan. One of the things we do is boot scans. So you walk in and that computer's off. You don't have to fire it up to do a live scan on it. You're just going to boot to our collection key and scan just the same as you would. There's a couple things you're not going to get, because it's not live. But everything else is there for you. You still collect the stuff that you need and see what's on there. And for some of the platforms, you're still going to see, I'm going to say remote scan. So when we're talking Mac and when we're talking Chromebook, and my hands are going like this because I have a Mac over here and a Chromebook over here. Linux will be boot, Windows will be boot, right? You're going to boot from that into there. You're going to be able to collect that RAM on scene and not analyze the RAM. Excuse this line if it's confusing. You're going to be able to do your RAM capture, but you're going to be able to do a scan of that device, analyze it on scene, bookmark, tag, filter, sort, do whatever you need to do to make your decisions on scene. And then, put that, everything you've collected, you can put into a standalone viewer and hand that off to somebody else. So there's one agency I know, this is an ICAC unit I'm talking about now. They go out, they got their van, they go into the house, they start collecting as much as they can. The RAM, they're going to do the scans of the devices, if their computers grab as much information as they can, make their decisions on scene. And what they scan on scene, the investigators, if they have a standalone viewer, get to hold on to that information and continue on with their case. Because once that device gets back to the lab, they have no more access to it, and it waits in line until it's done. So this allows them to keep that case flow going, right? Not, I took it, it's going to sit 3 weeks later, I get it back. No, that 3 weeks is, they're going through and they're working on it. So that standalone viewer is great for that, keeping the information, still bookmark, sort, filter, report, the whole bit. And that doesn't require a license to do. Instant reporting, I'm on scene, I see 3 things, 4 things, 5 things, I bookmark them, I bring it back, I do my report. When that person goes to court in the morning or that day, whatever your policies or procedures are, there's a report that's you're going to be able to have go with it. You're not really waiting for anything. All right. So still with Windows, the collection keys we build, the reason you're able to run it live, the reason you're able to boot to it, well, I shouldn't say the reason. You can do all that stuff. It's built on Windows. Think WinFE, right? So our collection keys are built on Windows. It's a recognized operating system. So this is the big thing, especially with most computers. I don't think you're going to come across too many. I'm sure you do. Don't want to make a blanket statement. But you'll be able to go to that computer if it's off, go to the single boot menu key. HP, I think, is F9 and, F12. So it brings it up, shows you the bootable devices. You point to the collection key and it boots up. No need to go into the BIOS. There's no need, unless you have to change the boot order for some reason, doesn't have a single boot menu key, but you're not going in and turning off secure boot. We are a recognized operating system. You don't need to do that. One of the, probably, one of the worst things you could do if it's BitLocker encrypted. You just, create an anchor when you do that. So single boot menu key, right into the collection key, it boots right up. So no need to go in there. You can image things, where that hard drive is hard to get out. You're just booting in. Now you have the ability to make an image of it as well. On the live scans on the Windows side, you're going to be able to grab those BitLocker keys and TPM information on a live scan. It's going to grab it. Live scan, one of the first things it does, it grabs it, it's listed. Now, if something happens to that, it goes off. The battery dies, whatever, for some reason you need to get back into it, you are going to have that in your scan. The way the tool works as well is if it collects something, moves it to the collection key. When that stuff gets parsed out, it's saved. It's on that collection key. Even if the computer shut down, it's all still there. You're not going to lose it, right? So no need. Whatever you're looking for, it gets collected. When it's collected, it's on the key. No need to go back at analysis time and say, oh, I want this, I want that. I'll make sure I have this. It's all done for you. With live scans, you're also going to get the saved credentials from the browsers. One of those great, if people are doing it, it's just awesome in helping you. People are creatures of habit, right? One password's good for everything, or there's a couple different passwords or a variation on a password. Help you get into anything they may have encrypted on that device. Help you get into other devices. See what accounts they have, financial, file sharing, social, whatever accounts they're going in, signing into and saving those passwords to, you're going to have. So preservation orders that day, just based on that information. Again, I said use the single boot key, and you can scan or image any device from boot. You don't need to, like scanning, I mean, you go in and just say, hey, I'm looking for these artifacts and these files and run these hashes or these keywords, right? You don't have to make the image first. You're scanning it live or from boot to get all that information. So it's really powerful. And then, of course, with the analysis portion, there's a lot more to it. Linux, excuse me here 1 second. That's what happens when you talk too much. All right, Linux. You're going to take that collection key and you're going to boot to that Linux device. There's going to be limited artifact parsing on that. So development-wise, it's a choice not to spend a lot of time working on developing, parsing out something that you don't see that often, unless you're really going to specialize in it. So we will get some stuff, browsers and things like that, where the databases, we can search for them that don't necessarily need to focus on a specific location, but look for the type of database that holds that. So you may get browsing history, downloads, stuff like that. You can still customize your search profiles. I want to search this for these hashes. I want to search that for these keywords. If you find that keyword in any of these types of files, pull it off for me. Pull these images off. Find me my matches. Again, quick, time-based triage, early case assessment, whatever you want to call it. They can be comprehensive. You can bring it back to the lab and do it as well. But if you're on scene, you can really be specific about what you want to get off of there and not walk away like I did early in my career, like, no, well, I'm going to bring this back and do some learning and then figure it out from there. Best way to learn, but now at least you have an option, especially if that's, I have come across, that's where they're saving their stuff. But bam, there it is. I see it. I can bring it back, report it. I can make decisions then. I think the last Linux thing I ever worked on before I retired was a copy machine. That was, that was political, or what's the word there? Anyway, the city corruption, right? And the printer came down to a printer and the hard drives on the printer. And it was a pretty good case. Cool. So I could use stuff like this on there too. Boot scans only, like I said, it's not going to run live on there. It's really heavy on the file collection and analysis and your keywords and your hashes. Like I said, you'll get some artifacts, but you can collect those files and parse them out with something else as well. You're probably going to bring it back and do a more sweep out the corners on it, but at least to get you going, you can do that. And again, you still have the standalone viewer. Once everything's off and you have it, you can just standalone viewer, give it to somebody, instant reporting. You still have all that. Macs. So Mac's a little different. We do use the collection key, and it gets attached to the Mac on the Mac side. And what I do here is I have a Mac M1 2020, and I have it in recovery mode. You're going to get the most information while it's in recovery mode. Again, we're going to logical here. It's a logical world. You do need the credentials in order for this to work. If it's locked and they're not going to give you the credentials to get into it, SOL, right? So for time being, bag tag, bring it back until you can figure something out. But that's what it's coming down to. So you have the credentials for it. You're going to make a connection to a remote agent that's sitting on that collection key. 3 ways to make that connection: direct connect, which is what I have here, Ethernet from the Mac to my Windows machine. You could do it with a router connection, or you could do it through your Wi-Fi. Again, recovery mode is best. You're going to get more information from your recovery mode than you are if it was up live and running. There's too many locked files when you're trying to grab information. But it's great for triage. If you're live, it's up and running, and you just say, hey, show me all the images that are on there. It's great. It'll be fast, and you'll be able to pull that stuff off. And if you're going to image it, it's going to be a logical container that's made by ADF here. We did work with AFF4 at one point. There was a group that was put together to try to finalize or really work on the AFF logical format. It was really difficult. There was a lot of bugginess to it, so that was foregone. And the way we work on Macs now is we've came up with a logical container. We're talking logical only. Grab the files. Again, we're not talking about sweeping all the corners out of this again, right? We're talking the ability to get there, get some information, make your decisions, maybe put a case to bed. But you have the credentials, you're going to be able to get in there. You're going to have that logical container, so you can make that logical container and then scan it later as well. So you have that ability. I'm going to show you that here in a couple of minutes. I'm actually going to show you the connection. It's super simple to do. When you're working with tools and it's like, all right, we're going to make this direct connection. You're going to need a 4-port hub. You're going to need Ethernet. You're going to need, to connect that to your Windows machine. All of a sudden, sometimes there's like, not everybody, but, investigator might be like, I haven't done this stuff a lot, and they get overwhelmed. It really is super simple. And our developers have really put together, automated a lot of this, so it makes it easy for you. Like going back, talking about the shift mindset of being able to do some of this stuff out in the field and grabbing what you need to do and make decisions. It makes me think of, we had this guy at work, Frank, and Frank was there for years and years and years. And, computers are coming in, they're being put on everybody's desk, and he just refused. And it came to the point where he was going to be disciplined because he wasn't checking his email. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know how to plug computers. You're getting that whole throw the hands up in the air. I don't know. They're computers. I don't know. So we sat down with him one day and very easily said, Frank, turn on your computer. That's like opening your front door to go to the mailbox. You get that? Can you open your front door at your house? Yeah. Okay. Push the power button. So he pushes the power button. His computer comes up. And so see that little icon there that says mail, right? That's your mailbox. Could you open your mailbox in front of your house? Yeah. Okay. Double click on that. We just opened your mailbox. See everything sitting there? That's the mail in your mailbox. It just started clicking with him, and he's like, "Oh, that isn't so bad." So, anyways, went off. Same thing. Ethernet cable, 4-port hub. You make sure each side has an Ethernet connection on there, so you can make the direct connection, or through Wi-Fi if you have a nice private Wi-Fi connection. There's plenty of them out there you can use, and through a router as well. Chromebook, cracking the Chromebook. So, Chromebooks. We get more out of a Chromebook than you were getting yesterday. Right? But not as much as we would like yet. But our development team is working on it. So I have up here version 1. A remote agent is used, or we just punch in the IP address that's assigned to that Chromebook. Again, direct connection, router connection, Wi-Fi connection. Either way, you make the connection and we can pull some information off of there for you. Live with credentials, obviously. We're going to make a logical acquisition of it if we can. You can screen record. That is what's limited kind of at this time as well. But you can get some stuff and screencasting as well. So there's some native things on a Chromebook that we can't see yet. But third-party apps, if they're on there, if they've put their Telegram on there, if they have Google Photos on there, if they have anything like that on there, you're going to be able, and I'm going to show you here in a second. So what I like to say here is development put it together. There's still some things that need to be worked out, but it's working. You're getting more than you were yesterday, but not as much as you are going to with our next release. Keep that in mind. It's simple, it's easy, and we're going to be able to do that. Well, we are doing it, and I'm going to show you here in a minute. And then the magic of mobile. So with mobile, change of mindset, victim witness consent, really easy with a mobile device to connect it and get it instant preview, instant access to the multimedia on there. So your pictures, your images, or your images, your pictures, your videos, some artifacts, Android artifacts come up a little quicker on the preview than they do on iOS. They're kind of at the end. Right now, we are not controlling how, or we can't control how the things come off in that process. But as they come off, we're processing them in real time. So it's real-time access and preview to the information coming across in that logical acquisition of the device. If you preview something, you see something on there, or you have victim witness consent and you just need to gather a couple of things, we have the ability to screencast and screen record. The screen recording is with audio. So if you have a video on there, with preview, you'll probably, if it's one of the recent videos, you could probably pull it right off in a preview. But if you just wanted to screen capture it, maybe your victim says, hey, I'll let you do this, but you're not doing that. You're not connecting it and you're not pulling files off that I don't know what's being pulled off. You can say, okay, let me record it. Bring it up, play it. It's going to get the audio with it. You can screen capture anything you could bring up on the screen. If for some reason, well, let me go to Telegram's a good thing. I say you can capture anything you can bring up on the screen. You can capture your Telegram, no problem. You can capture the Telegram secret chat, no problem. Well, one problem. You'll get it, you'll capture it, but with secret chat, if they realize that a screencast is being done, it will automatically tell the other party a screenshot has been taken. So that's only with the secret chat, and only if you open that secret chat during the process. But any other things on Telegram, you'll be able to get. Snapchat, you'll be able to get. It's not going to notify the other party. Things change, apps change. It's something to keep the eyes on. But like I said, settings, phone information, list of apps installed, iTunes information, iCloud information, any of your end-to-end encrypted apps. You could bring it up, WhatsApp, scroll through it, screenshot. You can bring it up, you can screenshot it, you can record your whole session if you want. I connected it, record, I'm done, stop the recording. Now you have a whole recording of your interaction with the device, or maybe with the victim or whoever you're talking to. So a lot of different ways to work through this. And these screen captures and screen recordings can be added to that advanced logical acquisition. So you go through first and say, hey, I'm going to do this advanced logical acquisition. I know I'm not going to get WhatsApp. Let me go in, capture the WhatsApp information, maybe capture some settings, capture some other information. And then when that's all done, you hit the acquire button and all that gets added to it. And with the screenshots, so let's just say you got pages and pages and pages of chats, right? Months of chats between two people. This will also OCR those chats. So those screenshots that you take, it's going to run OCR against it, pull the textual content out, and now it's searchable in your acquisition when you've parsed everything out. So there is a lot of magic to that. Mobile, again, advanced logical acquisitions, parse and view. You can customize with your hashes and keywords. You still have all that ability. It's not just parsing it out and then go search it later. It will do this with that. One of the things we do as well with any of our acquisitions is we link the files to the artifacts. So I have a file on the computer, a picture, whatever. This is the picture I'm looking for. If that picture belongs to a download, an email, a message, a peer-to-peer, a recent file, or browser cache, any of those 6 user artifacts, it will link that file to those artifacts and show it to you. So you don't need to go looking, hey, has this file ever been opened? Hey, is this, how did they get it? Oh, it came in through an email, it came in through a download, a browser download. It was peer-to-peer. You know, it's got 3 recent file entries, whether it's MRU or so. Then that's all done during the scan. We also have comprehensive sorting and analysis. The linking of the files, image identification, age detection. So there's like 13 different categories for images: vehicles, weapons, money. There's upskirting, adult pornography, child pornography. I think I said currency, portrait, people, pictures without people, pictures that just have people. So there's a lot of different ways to categorize, and that's all done post-scan. And then we also have entity extraction and translation. Again, those aren't upfront triage, early case assessment stuff. That's all done post-scan. It takes a little while, but great analysis tool. Let me show you a couple things here. There we go. Nope, that's still on demo time. Let me see. There we go. Making this interface is so nice. I was just able to switch that screen. All right, so I have it up here. Again, I showed you before, very clean. I want to go investigate a device. Either I'm going to scan it, image it, acquire it, preview it, whatever I want, I can go into. So let's say I wanted to scan. I've got my Mac up here. So this is my Windows device. It is all my target devices, anything attached to this machine is showing over here. I want to attach my Mac. Ooh. I'm sorry if I'm lagging here. I see my Wi-Fi just like dropped. Hopefully everything's going. Showing I'm connected. Could somebody let me know if I'm still live here? Okay, thanks, Megan. It's really, my Wi-Fi has just like showing me I dropped out of the world here. All right, thank you. So with the Mac, I have it connected over here through a direct Ethernet connection. I connected on that side. We should walk you right through the process: opening terminal, typing in what you need to start the remote agent. Once that's started, you come back to your Windows machine and add your remote agent here. And it ran there. You can see it came up now. So I have two connections here. I have my direct connection and I have my Wi-Fi connection for this. And I just choose which one I want to go through. It adds that in. I select OK. And now under my target devices, you see there's my MacBook Air. It's sitting over here in the corner of the desk, but now I'm able to access it here through my Windows machine and scan what I want. So in a triage, I could pick one of my search profiles here in the middle that is the one I wanted to use. So like I say, I can customize these. I have a ton of them in here to do all different types of work on it. So that's how I would connect it and run it and triage it. Now, on the Chromebook side, I'm just going to take that Ethernet cable off of that, connect it to my Chromebook. Okay. And with the Chromebook, now we're going to treat that as a mobile device, and I'm going to go to add device instead of add remote agent. I'm going to select on Chromebook. Now on this one, it doesn't connect. The remote agent doesn't come up, but I do have the connection, and I did enter an IP address on the other side. We walk you through that. The instructions are actually here to help you walk through that process on what needs to be done. So I'm going to put in the address to connect that device and select OK. And now it's going to make the connection with that Chromebook. You can see I have an Apple iPhone up here connected. Should pop up underneath. There we go. So there's the HP. It's a Google HP Chromebook, Chrome OS, and the connection. So again, I would pick one of the profiles that I want to run, give it a name, and then that I want to scan this device. And here's what comes up, right? It goes right into our screen recordings and screen capture area. And you can see I have on that Chromebook, and I'm actually controlling this with my mouse. I'm not even touching the Chromebook here. This is what is on the Chromebook. So, they've got Google Photos. I come in here. I can get whatever information on the person, any of the pictures that are here. I can open them up. I can take a screenshot. I can record my whole session. Now, the limitations right now, like I said, are some of the native apps. So if I were to close out of Google, let me go here. So if I don't have anything open, nope, that's open, so it's going to show. But if I don't have anything open, you may get a black screen. If you get a black screen, go there and open one of the apps that you're looking for, and it should come up in there. Let's see if I open this one up. So and there's Telegram. All right. So if I want to bring up Telegram, I could bring that, and it'll show everything in there. And if you're looking at somebody, you can also get their information as well. So that's Chrome. All right, so that's Chrome and mobile. From here, I would hit continue. It would make the acquisition of this Chromebook, add these screenshots to it. And that's what you can get on. Like I said, it's just a little limited at this time, but you're getting more than you were yesterday. And on the mobile side, if I wanted to screencast or screen record, I would come in here. You can see I have the my Apple iPhone. I could decide whether I want to do portrait or landscape on it. Hit proceed. Now there's a couple different ways to do this. There's screen recording and screenshots, and then there's also just screenshots. Now, what I have here is an iPhone 14 Pro Max with 17 on it now. So I wouldn't be able to do just screenshots unless I put it in developer mode. Well, the way, you can see here, it says unavailable for iOS 17, which is on this device. It's actually, I think, 16 and above. But you can go into screen recording and screenshots, and you can mirror using the mirroring on the iDevice. You can cast what's on here. So you can see here, I'm now casting that phone, and I can take screenshots or screen recordings of anything that's on here. And then below, you can see there's the acquire button, and I can take all this and add it to the acquisition. So showed you the connections, kind of gave you a good idea of what it all could do, give you a little bit different, idea of how it can be used and what it can be used, instead of just like pounding you through the tool and showing you different things. Hopefully you were able to see all the different uses and the way you can put some information together to kind of help you when you have all this together. I have actually talked a lot longer than I thought I was here. So are there any questions at this point that I can answer? See, this is still showing me as lagging. I don't know why my internet is like this. All right. So what I'm going to do is just bring this back up, hopefully. And there we go. Almost. All right. Well, it was pretty smooth up until the end here, until I started to freak out. Went through demo time. It seems to be the screen that I was sharing that was doing that. But I don't know. Questions, comments, concerns? Okay, great. Thank you. If you arise on scene situation, the system has been rebooted or off since the time of the incident. Is the RAM capture pertinent or just a checkbox? As disk imaging of the boot drive will contain boot progress startup. If it's been off, you've probably lost your volatile data. Yeah, I think RAM would just be a checkbox at that time. But the RAM capture really doesn't take that long, so it's one of those things that it doesn't hurt to do that, right? Um, yeah, so yeah, we're not doing dead box at this time. You still need, you still need access to it. That's with most of the stuff we're doing. You need the credentials. The Chromebooks need to be live at this point. So yeah, if it's dead, if it's sitting on your shelf and you're waiting, sorry, we don't have that yet. And when I say next version, you're going to see more. It's probably not going to be that later either. We're going to kind of swim in our lane, if you will. But yeah, you're still going to need the creds. All right. I see there's one up there for cost. I am not sales, so I don't want to quote something that's wrong. I believe we're transparent. It's on our website. If not, send an email to me. I'll get you to the right account executive, and they can talk. Is that you have any questions at all? Please send me an email. Give me a call. Email is probably the best. rforall@adfsolutions.com, support at adfsolutions.com, or training at adfsolutions.com. Any of those will come to me. I'll see them right away. And, we'll talk. You got a story, you got a question, anything. Don't be afraid. Like I said, 23 years, I've been there. I sat on your side. When it comes to using the tool and support, we're second to none. These requests come in, they go to us who've been out there, been on your side. I have been on search warrants at 6 o'clock in the morning, not physically, but through FaceTime or something with somebody. Hey, call me. If you're going out and it's first time using the tool, give me a call. We'll be there for you. I've gotten calls from scene. Hey, I'm doing this. What do I need to do? Yeah, A, B, and C. Done. You have a question, we get on the phone and we get you taken care of. So thank you. And yeah, it's 2:57 and you guys were awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Everybody has choices. You made a choice to be here today and I appreciate it.